interesting because as Laura said, we've been working quite hard in these recent months, and then when I came out to the office tonight, I realised this is sunshine. Because at the moment, the only time we seem to see daylight is when we're on a picket line or a demonstration. And the reason is because we are working hard to the preparation and promotion of a Labour government at the moment in terms of preparation, promotion and mobilisation for a general election as soon as it comes. Let me just say this, because I heard Richard's speech, just heard Laura's, and there's not an awful lot for me to say now, and I feel with this youth here, I feel almost like on my cell day. Let me just say this, look, if anyone saw Question Time that they're on up against two Tories and a cretinous landlord of a pub. I'll tell you the one thing that I only saw clips from it, Brian, the one thing that actually demonstrated the complete difference, it wasn't just Laura's responses that I heard, but when those two women in the audience rose so angrily about knife crime, Laura was the only one not shouting back at them, but actually applauding them. And that was the difference. That showed the difference of solidarity and just human compassion as well. Look, Richard, taking on the Sun and stuffing them, it gave me one of the best days I've had in years. And today, one of my friends, as you know, I'm originally a Chancellor, I'm a Liverpool Football Club supporter, and well, it's worth it because they win the Champions League. So. And one of my friends just sent me again the statement of Boris Johnson on Hillsborough, that he denied he'd written it, but he was the editor of The Spectator when the article was published. And it was basically supporting the Sun, and then talking about Liverpudlians wallowing in their grief. It took him 8 years, I believe, before he even apologised on that, and he was instructed by Cameron to apologise. That's the nature of Boris Johnson, a grotesque human being of any judgment of it at all. I just want to say about Diane as well, when they talk about knife crime and all the rest of what's happening, they need to look back on the first politician who raised this, who was convening conferences on knife crime, what was happening not just in her community, but right the way across the piece. And if you look at what Diane predicted with regard to what's happening to the cuts in our public services, policing, youth services, etc., everything she predicted has actually come tragically true. And at the same time, during that whole period, she was suffering some of the most racist abuse ever meted out to any human being within our society, and she stood up to them. That's the one. As well. He's had a tough time, let's be honest about it. He had a tough time. Just like Jeremy, he got elected on a democratic mandate, and of course there are some still within the party who had difficulty coming to terms with his leadership. But by force of will, by mobilisation, by the development of policy ideas, there's now a buzz in the Scottish Labour Party that was never there before he became elected leader. This is the man who will turn it round. It will take time, and it will take an awful lot of effort. It will take our support. But he'll do it on the basis of winning the argument, lifting our party members' morale, but above all else, just making sure people know whose side he's on in this class struggle. Because this is a man who's campaigned through the trade union, the Labour Party, on every industrial action I've known in Scotland taking place, every major struggle that's taken place on behalf of working class communities. This is the man that will eventually be the First Minister up there, and he'll be part and parcel of the government as we go here. Thanks for all you do. I just want to confirm, let's be absolutely honest about what we're up against. Look, whether it's Hunt or not, look, Hunt is there to make weight, isn't he, just in this election for the Tory party leadership. But just in case Hunt does get it, let's just remember that Hunt is a Hunt. the scale of human suffering he's inflicted upon our society as Secretary of State for Health. All those people queuing up for operations, all those people who died before they got their operation, all those waiting in ambulances to be treated, worried parents with their children, and then all those people that actually not receiving the social care they need. 87 people a day die before they receive the social care they need. There's a million out there. Richard referred to the UN Rapporteur's report. We've never seen this in our country before. And in that Rapporteur's report, the second one, which was on disabled people, referred to the systematic abuse of human rights of disabled people. Never ever seen before in our society. And that's down to Hunt. So we should not think that anyone think that somehow if Hunt gets it, is some sign of improvement on what Boris Johnson could be. He's been as ruthless as any of the Tories, not just voting for austerity, but driving it through. And as Laura said, in the examples that were given, there are people out there taking their own lives in their thousands as a result of the policies that he's been pursuing. We shouldn't forget that. Now, Boris Johnson, what can you say? Look, he's my next door neighbour in terms of constituencies. We all have a cross to bear. And I'm the person in the last count, what happened at the last count was at Brunel University, and his majority toppled from 10,000 to 5,000, and they were in a panic. My count came in first, so I basically asked the question of him, will you abide by the promise that your predecessor, John Randall, gave me, that you will lie down in front of the bulldozers at Heathrow Airport on the third runway issue? And he couldn't help himself. I'll be there, John, I'll be with you and all that. I've got a constituent who's driving a bulldozer around at the moment. Inviting him to lie down in front of him. Well, I tell you, the guy's a liar. Because when the vote came up, remember, when the vote came up in Parliament, he suddenly discovered a day trip to Afghanistan. A day trip to Afghanistan. The Afghanis greeted him at the airport and said, who are you and why are you here? I was trying to get a message through to actually ask him the question, what's your position on the third runway now? But I didn't have the translation available, that was the only problem. He's a liar. He's a liar. But everything is, let's be honest about it. He's a bigot, sexist, racist, and basically lacking, I think, in any standard of common decency that we've expected of anyone in elected office, but certainly in terms of if you're trying to become the Prime Minister of this country. So we've got to do everything we possibly can to prevent him being elected, and that's why the theme of Arise Internationality is all about securing a general election. Because we've seen what he announced within 48 hours. His first announcement was on tax cuts to the very wealthiest. And at the same time, if you look at some of the proposals he's been discussing about further rounds of privatisation and marketisation that's going on, this is a man who will threaten the very fabric of our society if he becomes Prime Minister. And the big fear, of course, is, I think he will go for a no-deal Brexit if necessary, just to save his own skin and exactly as Lord said, to link up with Farage in a new alliance. And whatever people think about the issue of Europe, and I'll come on to it, but whatever you think, every estimate they've done, and you don't have to listen to the Treasury, the Bank of England, you look at every other independent estimate from every one of our trade unions, means a no deal will crash our economy, undermine people's living standards, cut wages, and set us back maybe generations in terms of the future of our economy, and the ability to raise the resources that we so desperately need to rise to the challenge, particularly of climate change. That's what he's willing to do. That's why we've reached the situation, as others have said earlier, we've reached the situation in the Shadow Cabinet now. We are debating where we go from here. You've seen the Shadow Cabinet is meant to be confidential and secret, but before we get out, someone's leaked it. I don't know. It's not us. But anyway, I'll let you speculate. But we've reached a situation now where we've abided sincerely by Labour Party Humphrey's policy. We've done everything we possibly can to block a no deal. We've done everything we possibly can to secure an alternative deal. And I was in those negotiations. Do not ever do this to me again. Because I sat opposite. There was David Liddington, Mr. Nice Guy. We had Barclay, who didn't want to be there, and then we had Gove, who was just he's just on another planet. And then you had Hammond, who was in a sort of existential crisis. And we were in that for 6 weeks. I said to Jeremy, you ever do that to me again? This is a 40-year friendship about to go down the pan. But we did it because we wanted people to know that we were abiding by that conference decision, that we were set to do a deal that protects jobs and the economy. They couldn't deliver, and we don't believe we can get that through Parliament at the moment. Therefore, if we can't get a general election, as is unlikely, what we've got to do then is, yes, go back to the people. And the public vote, if it can't be a general election, we're saying yes now as a referendum. Now, we've yet to decide the attitude, but I want to be honest with you, if we don't go for a referendum, I don't want to be in a situation where we're campaigning with our hearts, and that does mean Remain, and it does mean if we are going to Remain. I don't say that for applause, I just want you to know where I'm coming from. If it is about Remain, it is the two things that we've got to put alongside that. One, Richard referred to it, is the transformative economic programme that we want in our country, but the transformative economic programme we want across the rest of Europe as well. That's why at the moment we have launched a number of proposals with Yanis Varoufakis and DN and others about the sort of economic reforms that we want, about ending the neoliberal dominance, ending the role of the Commission itself in insisting upon requirements which will prevent public expenditure and investment. It means about ending the restrictions on state aid and public ownership. It also means on working much more progressively and cooperatively together right way across Europe, because we campaigned during that referendum on the principle of another Europe is possible. And so that's the basis upon which I believe that we've got to get out there and campaign now, to try and give people not just hope in this country, but hope right the way across Europe as well. Jeremy at the moment is consulting NEC members, and he's consulting the unions on Monday, and we'll come back on Tuesday and we'll make our decision. And obviously that decision will be shared account to see where we go from here, and there'll be further discussion at the Labour Party conference, of course. But I want an early decision now to get out there, because if there is the potential of a general election in October, we need to be clear about where we're going in terms of Europe and other matters on it. I think there's a real risk, and I'll close on this, I think there's a real risk that Boris, if he is elected leader of the party and goes into number 10, I think there is a real risk he might get an initial poll bounce. Most newly elected leaders or prime ministers do. If he does, I think the temptation is there to go for a general election. And if you've noticed, Linton Crosby is now working with him closely. And he's not working with him just on his leadership election campaign. I think he's working with him for preparation for a general election just in case in October. And if that is the case, our view is, well, bring it on. Bring this election on and let's get into it. Because on all those issues that confront us, of course, we need to resolve the Brexit issue within the party and take a principled stance now and campaign around it throughout the summer. But all those other aspects of our economic plans that have been discussed, exactly as Laura said, the whole issue, as Richard said, Tony Benn's irreversible shift in wealth and power is the critical thing for the next Corbyn government. That's the whole point about all of this. And that will come from the extension of public ownership, that was said, bringing road, bringing rail, bringing energy, bringing Royal Mail, and bringing water back into public ownership, the doubling of our cooperative sector, representation of workers on boards, the introduction of the inclusive ownership fund, where 1% a year for 10 years of shares with the collective ownership of the workers themselves. That will be a dramatic shift in the wealth ownership of this country. But you've noticed recently, we published, hasn't got much public coverage, we just published a report on land 3 weeks ago. We want to look at how land is the basis of wealth in this country, and how we can redistribute land as the basis, a part of our redistribution of wealth as well. In addition to that, when people go to work, it's exactly as Laura said, we don't want them just to share in the wealth, we want to share in the power.
Yes.
Yeah, and that, what Laura's doing is fundamental. It's what trade union rights from day one. Access to representation. Making sure that we scrap the anti-trade union laws that the Tories introduced. And I'll give you an example of it. One of the reasons I'm late is because I've been meeting with trade union reps from Heathrow. Heathrow, Unite, are now balloting with PCS for industrial action, Heathrow. The chief executive of Heathrow has just written to the homes of all of the Unite and PCS members, telling them not to vote against the union, but not to participate in the ballot, to undermine the whole credibility of the ballot, and therefore not allow the unions to reach the threshold itself. That's why we want to scrap these pernicious laws, to restore democracy to workers when they go into employment itself. I think now all our work is about promoting the cause of a general election, the need for a general election, the impossibility, we should demand of the Prime Minister being elected by a small 160,000 Tory party members, going into number 10 without any democratic mandate itself, and how we should demand that election comes. And as we go into that election, clear about our programme of what we're going to do to transform our society. Now, I believe that this could be one of the most fundamental elections, not just about electing a socialist into number 10, but I believe it's almost existentially important. Because the combination of Boris Johnson in number 10 as the Prime Minister, linking up with Trump in the White House, I think is an existential threat. It's an existential threat to peace in the world, as we've seen even over Iran recently. But above all else, it's an existential threat to the planet as a result of climate change. If we allow this axis of bigotry, of ignorance to form, I think the planet is at risk, because it will prevent us, both in terms of mobilisation here, but then we'll have this Trumpian, almost nightmare linked up with Boris Johnson to prevent us moving forward to tackle climate change, not just in our own individual countries, but to secure the global agreements and the global reforms that we need. That's why it's critical. So in your discussions over the next 24 hours, the Arise thing, what I'd like you to do now is think in real detail. How do we mobilise now over these next few months to secure that general election? What is the programme that we need to go into that general election? How do we radicalise the manifesto that we had? But above all else, how do we mobilise every community? How do we shake people up, wake them up to the threat that we now face from this rise of right-wing populism, not just in America, but now here? And how that opens up the vulnerabilities of our society. Well, what we can do is exactly as others have said, what we can do in terms of giving people hope, relaying the foundations of a civilised society, relaying the foundations of equality and fairness within our society, but also giving them a prospect in which I think, in transforming the way in which we organise our society, we can transform the way in which they pursue their lives and for their children and grandchildren as well. Can't there be any greater challenge for us now? But I tell you, we're up for it, aren't we? We are up for this. We have a movement, we have a mass movement now that's building as a social movement. We're ahead of the game on the ideas. We've won the battle of ideas. They're in retreat, they're bankrupt, the Tories, in terms of ideology. They're bankrupt in terms of political movement itself. So our job then, responsibility on all our shoulders, is to just throw ourselves into it. So like us, I don't expect you to see me much daylight over the next 6 months. But you're right, but you're right. You're right in your diaries and you're right in your memoirs for your grandchildren. I was there when we elected a Corbyn government. I was there when we started that pathway to transforming our society. And I was there when we taught the rest of the world what socialism really means in practice. So